Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're going to do another weekly update from my Microstakes grinding vlog blog thingy. We're going to have less preamble than usual because it seems to get on some people's tits, and we're going to get straight into it after I've asked you guys to hit the like, hit the share, comment, subscribe, and all that. World record 25 seconds of preamble plus whatever it takes me to press this button to show you how the week has gone. And it doesn't seem to want to populate. Hang on one moment. Many apologies, it was set to this month and it should have been set to from the 27th, which was last Monday, because we do this Monday to Sunday. So there we go, with a whopping 3,050 hands. We won a whopping $6. We could have won a little bit more, we should have won a little bit more, but who cares? And yeah, that's it. And the reason for this is just kind of being a bit bored, a bit fed up. We had like to play 2 consecutive like 20k hand weeks of playing like some of the dullest games in poker, and that's what speed poker is. I enjoyed it for a while. I enjoyed it for the full ring. I enjoyed working on my game, trying to iron some kinks out, just trying to play a little bit tighter, and just like try and basically take my game to the gym and give it a workout. And we'll look at, before we move on to what else I've been doing, and at the end of this little like weekly review thing, we'll review more like the 3 weeks as a whole, and talk about how it made me feel after that. But this is what this week looks like in graph form. As you can see, it's a bit spiky, then a bit shitty, and whatever. End of week, and go back into the overall, and we'll look at some of the bigger pots we played and lost. We'll look at, I don't know, we'll look at the one that's highlighted upwards. So we'll look at these 5 and the ones we've lost, and we'll look at 5 of the ones we've won, and then we'll take a more broader view of how things have gone since I started looking at the speed poker games. Here we have 2 kings. We raise, king, queen calls. He flops top pair. Some guy check raises. We call, he calls. This one's going to be rather dull, isn't it? Yeah, he just sucks out. Whatever, who cares? We just had to squeeze pocket 8s versus a fish. Who's sorry, not we decided to call 4-bet pocket 8. Sorry, versus a fish. Could be a bit skinny. This could be a bit on the thin side. First time I've looked at any of these backs, so kind of look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. So before he gets to us, what are our choices here? We could call. Don't really want to set mine at 30 NL for whatever that is, 25 blinds, 30 blinds. No, I think we're happy just doing this against the fish. He calls. We flop this. What would I like to see myself doing now? Just go all in, I guess. We got a pair. We have a flush draw. We're behind, of course, but we don't know that in real time yet. He might just have smaller pairs that call it off. He might just have naked flush draws that call it off. I went with the jam, and obviously we lost. Jack 10 suited. So I like to go for a 3-bet here. Not really sure why I've done this. Versus a middle position open. Not really sure at all why I've done this, to be completely honest. I don't like the 3-bet whatsoever. I guess we can. Flatting's. I would like to flat it, and we're going to touch on this later, so I don't want to go too much into it right now. I'd like to flat, but you just get 3-bet and squeeze so often in these games. From the small blind, I don't really like having much of a flatting range, so I guess that's why I've decided to 3-bet, thinking, well, it's kind of too strong to fold. I don't want to flat, so 3-bet. That's obviously been my logic. Anyway, an opponent calls with the ace king suited, and then we flop a flush. C-bet call. Barrel turn, he calls. River comes a 3. Hate it. I guess I'm in check fold mode. But then he bets a size that didn't really allow us to fold. And we call and we lose to the ace king suited. I will touch on this because it's mostly 3-betting and the how much it happens in speed poker, which has made me move away from it for a little while. Anyway, pocket 8s. This is a 20-0 full ring table on 888 now. We certainly did the rounds a little bit before we decided to give it a miss. Check call, which I think's okay, I guess, with 2-8s here. What else can we do? Really, we can't really bet for value. I think check call's absolutely standard. He bets again, gets a bit more dicey. We call, check again. He jams the river. On a good day, I fold here, I think. Clearly, it wasn't on a good day because I called and we lost. And yeah, I think that's probably going to be a fold on the river. The board just isn't been wetting. There's not enough draws he can have there. I mean, yeah, could he be just jamming ace high? Maybe. Seems unlikely though. I think that's a bad call. Don't like that hand. And alright, just kings versus ace king. We 3-bet versus the ISO. He 4-bets. We jam. He calls. Whatever. We don't win. Right. Okay. I don't want to like be too trivial about these hands, but there wasn't much to be seen in any of them, and I kind of want to get on to what I want to talk about this week. So what we're 5, are we? 5. So we'll start off with this one, and we'll work our way up. 10-8. We flat a 3-bet from a monkey, and we flop a top pair. He leads out. We go all in. He calls, and we win. Again, just as those other ones, but this is the ones we're winning. These ones. Complete the small blind with ace 2 of spades. Check raise a flush draw and a gut shot. Seems completely fine to me. He calls. We bet the turn. He calls and we bink the river. We go all in and he calls. Yeah. Enthralling stuff. We raise 10s. We get min 3-bet by another fish. We 4-bet. That's a bit unexpected. I guess because he's like looks so monkeyish. I guess I'm just doing it for value and like protection pre-flop. He calls. He bets the flop. We check call with our 10s. Guess we could bet that flop, but check call seems okay too. Smash the turn. He bets. We call it off. Happy days. We win again. This is the heads up pot. We open jacks. Get a caller. He check raises us on with queen 6 on 6 deuce 4, which is interesting. We call. Turn a set. He bets. We go all in. Well, we have the flush draw too. Usually I wouldn't like this, but I mean, look at this. He hasn't got much money left. I guess it's just one of those things. And not all normally like raise a turn. And normally we like just call and call all rivers. But given that he's kind of bet more than half his stack on the turn, that the jam's completely fine. And it is to me anyway, in my opinion. And another heads up pot. We flop top set versus top pair in a 3-bet pot. Aren't we fucking marvellously skilled? And he just jams over our small turn bet and we felt him. So yeah, that's where we go with that. Right. So why did I only play 3,050 hands? I just got fed up of the games. And before we go any further, let's get one thing clear. It's not because I wasn't beating them. We'll just pause while we look back to when we started this little challenge and we'll see how my results have been. So yeah, I guess we started around here sometime in early November. As you can... Why has that gone to that all of a sudden? Fuck you. Yeah, here we are. So I guess we started on around the 6th of November. And we played 40,000 hands. I've had an EV/BB winner of 5 blinds 100. So it's not because I'm not beating the games that I haven't played them. I think we demonstrated there to beat them. I think if we look over my last almost 200,000 hands, we clearly demonstrate that I beat these games, I beat these stakes. I just think the fucking... after a while, like when you first play them for like a week or 2 weeks, you kind of get into it, but they're so dull in the long term. They are to me anyway, maybe to some of you guys, but to me, they're just so damn dull. There's too much 3-betting in them, and I'm not saying that everyone's 3-betting too much, but because it's all regulars and they're all 3-betting between 6 and 10%, it's just too dull. It's like you raise, you get 3-bet, you call, or you fold, or someone raises you 3-bet and they fold. I get why it happens. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of that. When I play, I do it. We have to do it. It's kind of how it works. And other players do it against you. I guess what I'm saying is the games are they're not too tough because I'm beating them, but they're tougher than they need to be for these stakes. And it's just not that much fun. Well, it's not to me anyway. And you've got to enjoy it a little bit too. And, you know, fair enough, we're pushing a 5-blind win rate, or EV win rate, which is really fucking good in modern games. And if I'm doing that's like the best we're going to do. Imagine if when I move up to play 25 and that win rate drops to like 2.5 or 3 or something. I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't enjoy poker when my win rate's as low as that. There's too much variance involved. There's too much like ups and downs in confidence. You never quite know. You know, it always feels like you're on the precipice of something going horribly wrong. It's just stressful. It creates anxiety, not at 10-0, but I know it would create anxiety for me at 25-0 or 50-0, where there was big potential for me to go on a 15-20 betting downswing, no problem. I don't want to have to deal with that bullshit. I don't want to deal with long break-even stretches. I don't want to deal with potentially like 20 betting downswings and just being part of normal poker life. It's not what I want from poker personally. It's where poker's going if you want to play speed poker or you want to play higher stakes and tougher games. But it's not what I want it to be. It's not what I need it to be. Poker for me needs to be 3 things. It needs to be profitable, it needs to be fun, and it needs to be accessible. The accessibility, if you want the first 2, are not easy because, you know, if you want it to be profitable and fun, then you've kind of got to go to sites like Sky or whatever the site in Canada's called that Ryan plays on. Canada, it's called now, but it's a provincial site anyway. You've got to pay a lesser extent to Unibet or Global Poker in the US or some of these dodgy Asian networks. So accessibility of soft games isn't what it used to be. But you know, it's I'd rather have less game accessibility and have more fun, softer games to play in. So that's kind of, I got a bit sick of grinding this. And if we look at like clearing the filters, it's not just, I'm a big winner in these games over like a pretty big sample size now. I still don't enjoy it. There's 6.6 big blinds per 100. That's almost perfect, like in terms of EVBB2. So we have the 6 big blinds 100 win rate, and I just do not enjoy it. It's not fun to me. And if it's not fun, then I don't want to do it. Then I don't play as much. Then when I do play, it means more because I need to play to prop my income up. And then there's bits of anxiety creeps in. You get stressed. You get fed up. If I do go on like a 3 or 4 day losing run where I drop maybe $200 or $300, it starts to affect my enjoyment of life, which I don't want to fucking happen either because I have a pretty nice life. I'm not particularly wealthy, but I have a nice life and I enjoy it. And I don't want the nonsense that goes with even a 6 big blind win rate or a 4 big blind win rate or even worse, a 2 big blind win rate. I want to play in games where I know my win rate's very healthy, 10 big blinds plus. And if that means I've got to play lower stakes to achieve that, then that's what I'm prepared to do, I guess. And if we're being forced down the stakes because the games are getting more and more concertinaed because the higher stakes regs are forcing to move down, which forces middle stakes regs to move down, which forces upper microstakes regs to move down. The games are getting squeezed, and you know, whereas I used to confidently be able to beat 100 now I'm not even sure to beat 50 to be completely honest with you, on most sites. Even Sky, I think I'd probably beat it on Sky if I games that did really hard, but then my volume would be so low, it just wouldn't be worth playing. Sky 50 barely ran lately, it's bonkers, which has forced a lot of the 50 regulars who aren't rolled or good enough to play 100 to move down to 30 That was really good regulars from Sky like Cocoa Pops. Who else have I seen moving down? Splashes, but he's been 30 for a while. But there's can't remember the top of my head, but there's been quite a few regulars on Sky who typically played 100-0 and 50-0 that are now kind of playing quite a lot of 30-0. So the games are definitely getting squeezed. I'm more than happy playing 30-0, 20-0. But for the purpose of this blog and what have you, this week I've been playing like mixing mostly 10 and 20-0 because there just hasn't been that many 30-0 games going that I've wanted to sit in. It's usually been 4 regulars, 1 fish, and then an empty seat. And I'm not going to go and join a table with 4 regulars and 1 fish because we're going to be exactly the same situation in these games where you're not going to see many flops. It's just going to be a lot more 3-betting and what have you. And again, not fun. So I wobbled a little bit there, but what I'm essentially saying is I don't want to play against more than 3 regulars at any time at a 6-max table. I want at least 2 fish. If there's a table with 3 regulars and 1 fish, that fish better be a fucking good one, or I'm just leaving because I just no intention, no desire to battle regulars. And that's what we do. If we're playing Zoom or Fast all the time, it's just constantly battling regulars, and I'm proving here I'm battling regulars and I'm beating them, and I'm beating the games really well. And being for a reasonable hourly rate, I don't care. I don't want to be doing it. It's not fun. I'd rather have a lower hourly rate, more enjoyment, less hassle, less anxiety. And I think that's probably true of a lot of us, but it's not something people really want to admit very often. Who wants to admit that they just want to take an easy option? But I think where poker's concerned, and it's like a battle for money, it's important to me to make some money, but not that much. I mean, I can get by just making an extra £200 or £300 per month from poker. I don't need to make a ton of money from poker. And if one day I decide that, well, I don't want to make any more money from poker, I don't even need to because I can just, the way my life's set up, I've got lots of headroom in my day jobs to just like replace poker income with actual real work. I don't want to do that, but it's an option there for me. And yeah, so all I'm going to be doing is going to be finding soft games at whatever limits. If I see a soft table at 30 now, of course I'm going to jump on it. If I see a soft table at 50 now, I'd jump on it. But they need to be really soft. We're having a new rule in Reggie Time's life of at least 3 fish per table at a 6-max table. Sorry, not at least 3. No more than 3 regulars. 3 regulars, 2 fish and Reggie. That's how it's going to be. If it's not that ratio or better, then it's not going to be there. And if that's a cop-out or whatever, you guys can if you think that I'm selling out or whatever, then that's up to you guys. But that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it should be for most of you guys. Most of the guys that watch my videos are not winning poker players. And the easiest way to become a winning poker player is just game select better. I've talked about it a million times, but it's the simplest way. People will often say, you know, how do I get better at poker? They're on forums and asking how to get better, etc., etc. You know, I've played tens of thousands of hands of these games and I'm not winning. What do I need to do to start winning effectively? That's what they're asking. They're asking what they need to do to get better, but what they're effectively saying is, what do I need to do to start winning? What do I need to do to start winning at poker? And what they actually need to do is just find better games. Boring. Reggie's talking about game selection again, but it's so fucking critical, and games are getting worse and worse. I don't think online poker's ever been in a worse state than it is right now, and I think it's a chance it can get better because I think that more of these new sites are popping up now. More guys are playing on the newer sites. There's still the regulars that are churning out hundreds of thousands of hands per month on PokerStars and on Party Poker. Good for those guys. Those games, they have to dry up eventually. They're just going to have to dry up because there's going to be this. The regulars are going to keep on eating themselves and eating themselves and eating themselves and eating themselves. There's not an endless supply of fish in those games. And they'll just start drying up. Pools are getting noticeably smaller. I remember when PokerStars first launched Zoom, they used to have 2 pools of 10 Zoom because they used to cap out at like 1,000 or whatever. There'd be like maybe 1.5, 2,000 people playing 10 Zoom or 5 Zoom at peak times. That isn't the case anymore. The games are visibly drying up, and that will continue to happen. But you know, hopefully, with the appearance of these new sites, the Asian sites, the Canadian sites, the UK sites, there's one in Sweden. Hopefully there'll be a lot more smaller sites come in place, and they won't have speed poker. And maybe the guys that are playing these smaller sites can get back to how poker used to be, which was kind of playing regular tables and mopping up dead money. That's how it was. That's how all the guys made the money pre-Black Friday. So yeah, that's where we're at with it. I have now moved on to Sky. I haven't played that much on Sky this week. I'm going to pull up my little database now and show you that. So as you can see, this is a box we're really looking at up here. These are just all like the inputs into it. I played 17 hours of mostly 10NL with some 20NL too. And I made £81. This says dollars, but I don't know how to change it to pounds. And just £4.70 per hour. So it's piss poor at the time being. I mean, £4.70 an hour. It's not where I want or need to be. But considering I've just been playing mostly 10NL this week, just to like get a bit of confidence back. As daft as it sounds, even though I had like the winning 2 or 3 weeks in those games and winning at like £4.100, I did feel like my confidence had dropped. You know, like it didn't feel like I was winning, even though I was winning. It's bonkers. It didn't feel like I was winning. I started, my confidence was a bit low, and then like my first few sessions, you can see, they didn't go that great. Like the first 6 hours, it was just like me readjusting to Sky because I was still kind of in fast forward mode, just 3-betting a little bit too much. I was trying to play too much of like a balanced style when I know on Sky, especially Sky 10NL and to a lesser degree 20NL, the key is just play super exploitably. Play tight because of the rake, play exploitably tight, have exploitable frequencies, use exploitable sizings. And as you can see, I finally got my head around it, and then the weekend's gone really quite well. We've had like a pretty decent uptick at the weekend. And I'm not sure what I'm going to be next week, probably trying to get as many 20NL games as I can, but if I can't, I'm going to be looking at 10 rather than 30 for the time being. And just mostly the priority is going to be try and get 6 tables up of whatever, of 10, 20, 30 if it's good, but just get the volume in basically. Just when I'm playing, try and have 6 tables going, try and just keep chugging away, trying to get some decent volume and see how we go. I don't want to think about how much rake I'm paying. It's way more than I was on PokerStars, but at the same time, post-rake, my win rate is still going to be significantly higher, and that's deep down all that matters. I don't care if I'm getting rake 20 blinds 100. If I'm making 40 blinds 100, you can have me 20 blinds 100 rake. Kind of doesn't matter. The rake matters a lot if you're in games that you can't beat very much. But if you're in games where you have a crushing win rate, the rake's much less important. Well, it is in my opinion anyway. You guys might disagree, but I'd happily play a super high rake if I was like the only winning player at the table and winning at like a huge win rate, 15, 20 blinds. I wouldn't care if the rake was higher than my win rate. All that matters is, are you getting value for money? Are you in games that you can beat for a big number for the rake that you're paying? And at the moment, I feel like I certainly am when I play on Sky, so I don't mind the rake side. I just try and put it at the back of my mind, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's how like the week's gone in terms of like graphics. You can see from that Tuesday onwards we played on, and maybe even Monday. I'm not sure. It could have been Tuesday though. From Tuesday onwards we played on Sky. We haven't put tons of hours in. We've only got 17 hours in, which is only about 3 hours per day, something like that. For maybe slightly less. But I've had a busy week, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much for that. And I've been kind of last couple of nights trying to get my sleep pattern round cricket matches that are being played in Australia at stupid times in UK time. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm a recreational player. If I want to play less to watch cricket, I'll just play less to watch cricket. I don't care. So there we are. That's how the rest of the week's gone on here. So I've had like a plus £80 a week, plus whatever trivial amount I got off the other one. So we're just going to call it a plus £80 week, which I'll take. Give me a plus £80 week every week, and I'll be like, oh, that'll do me. 320 quid a month, tax free. Who doesn't want that for playing Microstakes poker? So in a moment, we're just going to go and look at it's a ball lake on Sky because you don't have a hand replayer, but I've manually recreated, I think it's around 8 to 10 hands that I've played this week. Some interesting ones, some big ones, and I've tried to get a decent switch of, and not just putting the winning hands in. A couple of the big pots I've lost, I've put in there too. I think I'll put all the big losing pots in because there hasn't been that many big losing pots because there hasn't been that many big pots because mostly there's lots of fish and they're not playing 100 big blinds, and we're not going to be looking at too many like 50 big blind pots and things. So there's not that many hands to look at, but we'll take a look at them now. And I'm going to apologise in advance and ask for some advice in just a moment from you guys. So the advice I want is there any way, we've all seen videos before where people have had like things they've dragged over the whole cards to not show the whole cards. I'm at the minute using a really small minimized task manager thing, which is clearly very shit, but it does the job. It'll serve the purpose of today's videos. If somebody can tell me a better way of doing this, something more aesthetically pleasing, then and minimise Task Manager, I would very much appreciate it. So we get onto the hand. My cards aren't shown here. Don't know why. It's because this piece of software is a piece of shit. But basically, we have 2 8s. We're in the big blind, and we have pocket 8s. Oh, and now that's popped up so you can see his fucking first hand. So we're not even going to bother putting up. We have pocket 8s. We're not even going to bother putting that up again because I can't be bothered, basically. So we just set up a set. This is 10 and L in the deep table. We bet and get raised. I don't like it much, but we can't. Well, I do like it, but I'm thinking we can't really re-raise unless he's got a set of 4s and we're in trouble. He just jams the turn. We call, and we struck out royally on the river, and that was nice. That was like a decent start to my Sky comeback. Now this next one. This is the first time I'm not looking at all these since I've created them, so I don't remember them that well. I did remember the pocket 8s. We have 2 kings here at a 10 and L deep table again. We 4-bet, he 5-bets, we go all in, he calls, and we run into the aces. Oh, we sucked out again by the looks of things. Oh no, sorry, we were the aces there. Do apologise, we were the aces that time, not the kings. This is it with this software. I'm sorry, it doesn't tell you who the hero is, who the villain is. It says hero, king, cut off wins. That wasn't. I was 100% the aces there. So that's 1 200 blind, big blind pot for us, 1 200 blind, big pot against us. Up to now. I'm actually going to have a job remembering which ones I fucking won and which ones I lost here. Right, this isn't us. We must be somebody else in this pot at the moment who hasn't shown yet. I'm guessing we're seat 1. Because we wouldn't be the limper and we wouldn't be the min raiser. So we're seat 1. And now the fucking software's ballsed up. So we are seat 1 in this place here. Hopefully our hands will show at the end. I'm pretty sure our cards will show at the end. We see bet. Our opponent goes all in with his set. We call. We had ace jack. We got creamed. Probably not the best of jams by me, but again it's Sky, and this guy was almost certainly a fish because I wouldn't do this. Well, he's limped under the gun. Yeah, am I in love with the jam on the flop? Well, it's a 3-bet pot. We've flop top pair, good kick. We've flop top pair, top kicker against a fish. We've c-bet pretty big, and he's raised us on a kind of wettish board texture. I don't hate it. We just lost. Happens sometimes. Didn't remember that one, but I don't think I'd play it again any differently. I think we have to squeeze pre-flop, or we have to 4-bet because it's like 3-bet limp, min raise, 3-bet to 90 calls a 270 in the pot. We see, but yeah, we just committed. We flop top pair, top kicker in a 3-bet pot against a fish. He just goes in, and if he's flopped a set, then he gets all my money, which is what he did that time. Again, not sure which one's me at the moment. I don't usually pot it as an open, so I'm going to guess I might be seat 9, but I'm not sure. C-bet, there's a raise and a call. Yeah, I'm definitely this one because I think I make a flush here. I think we're trying to like a queen 9 suited or something. Yeah, that was definitely me. So we'll look at that one again. Now we know who we were. So we've called an open on the button with queen 9 suited. I think that's fine against the fish. Most of these hands have been against fish. Flop, he bets small. We raise with our gut shot straight flush draw, completely standard. He calls. We turn the nuts. Hit check. Bet small. Call. River to brick. Check. Jam. Call. Yeah, super standard. I guess the only non-standard thing is that the flat call pre-flop. If you're playing like if I was playing Zoom here and someone on for pot in the cutoff, I would not ever even dream of flatting queen 9 suited on the button. Just isn't in my playbook because it's just too likely you get squeezed behind. I've seen almost no squeezing in these games this week, and imagine the average 3-bet percentage at 10 L Sky is going to be less than 3%. The games just play super loose, super passive, and they're just incredibly soft. 20 L's kind of the same. If you get a good 20 L table with lots of fish, again, it's for me. we just talked about earlier. It's about playing in games where the 3-bet percentage isn't through the roof. If you've got 4 or 5 players at your table who are all 3-betting 8 to 10%, it's just, for me, it gets unbearable. You guys might enjoy it, you might love it. For me, it's fucking unbearable. It's not fun. We don't get to do things like this. We don't get to like play speculative hands in position against fish and then win big pots when we make a big hand. Those things just don't happen in speed pockers. A, there's not enough fish, and B, even when there is fish, the regulars just fucking cannibalise themselves and 3-bet the crap out of each other anyway. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. That one was fun. Again, I don't think I was the one with the ace king, given it's been a pot size open. I was in the big blind, and I think I turned it with jacks. Yeah, I did. So let's replay that again from the start. He's open to 35. I've gone for the big squeeze with the jacks. He's gone all in. I snapped this off. And this was a regular, actually. This was a player called Thinkerman. He's a regular. He used to play high stakes. He used to play like 50 0. I'm sure he used to play 100 0. And he seems to be playing exclusively with 10 0 these days. I think he's kind of really struggling. He looks like he's struggling anyway. It's a big drop. And he's not always, I don't want to talk too much because he seems like a nice guy. But yeah, I think he's struggling. I just snapped him off. I just didn't think he did make that side with aces or kings or queens. I kind of hoped he might have pocket 10s or some, like, who knows what. But anyways, we snapped him off. We had the jacks. And he flopped the world. And we held. So that was another nice one for us. That Thinkerman would be a good example of why games are getting tougher, because he's not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. He probably used to be quite a big winning player on Sky, I would imagine. And now he's being forced to grind the 10 0 games. And I'm not slagging him for that, because I'm playing 10 0, 20 0 with just a little bit of 30 0. And people are getting squeezed down. It's just where poker is at the moment. People are getting squeezed down a little bit. I'm hoping to play more 20 and 30 than I am 10. But I'm going to play where the fish are. And if the fish turn up mostly at 10 and 20, well, that's where you're going to find Reggie. And I hope Thinkerman, I wish him all the best. He seems like a nice guy. He's obviously... He's not having a good time at the moment, but I do wish him all the best. And I'm not trying to troll him or needle him here in the slightest. I just think he's a good example of the way poker's gone. And he's going. This one, I did have the aces in this hand. There's my typical isolation size over a limper. We flop pretty good. We make a big c-bet on this board text with 2 players. An opponent jams, we snap. He shows the jack 5 suited and wins. There you go. All hail the jack 5 suited. Yeah, Sky 10 0 for you. Limp call jack 5, check shove, bottom pair. Get there. Happy days. Good for him. 20 0 hand. We open 2 kings under the gun. We get 2 callers. We c-bet this pretty low wet board. Get a caller. Bomb the turn. Get a caller. And I elected to check the river. And this was... I just thought it's going to be too hard to get value here. It's great if we're bluffing, because the boards are out really good for us to bluff somebody off a hand like pocket 7s, pocket 8s. 6x, if we've just got some random bluff here, then great, it's a good spot to bluff. We don't want him to fold. So I kind of thought, yeah, it's going to be hard if we shove to get called by too many worse hands. He's just going to fold most of the stuff he's got to the river with, like pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, 6x. He's not going to call with any draws that have missed, for example. So I thought the best plan was check, allow him to bluff, and then just pick a bluff off. I did check, he did shove, I did call. And he flopped straight with the 5-3 offsuit. So it can be frustrating playing against these fish, but it's certainly more fun. I'd rather lose a stack to a guy who plays 5-3 off on the button than I would to some fucking boring regular from, and I mean no offence to these countries, Lithuania or Belarus or the Ukraine. No offence to any of those countries, but I'd much rather lose a full stack to a fish playing the 5-3 than I would to an Eastern European regular who I'm unlikely to be able to, like, win it back from anytime soon, for want of a better way of putting it. This hand we have this player here, we have seat 7. We isolate a limper or we tried to isolate a limbo but completely failed to isolate. We see bet this board, which means I must have something because I wouldn't see bet this board multi-way. We get min raised. I go all in. We get called. I turn over the ace king. He turns over the 7-4 suited, and we hold. So there you go. Check min raise the 7-4 suited on the ace king deuce, and then call it off. And they say poker's dead. This is just evidence that poker to me is dead in the speed poker games, but poker very much is alive if you're prepared to sit in the games where there's actually lots of action and lots of lively players. And here we go. This is the last hand of the video. I think the queens are actually us this time. Game, we pick up 2 callers. We flop the world. Oh, I like this one. We check it back because, like, really, what can anyone really have? Such a dry board. I guess we could bet small and just hope someone calls it pocket 8 or something, but I elected to check back. Seat 2 then over bets. And we call, and then he overbets a river. We go all in, and he falls for £2.27 more, and we drag a huge pot. That would have been a massive red line win if we were playing where we could track our hands, but it wasn't. So, yeah, this video format at the end, I'm not happy with this format. We've kind of jumped around a bit. There's been a few fuck-ups earlier on with the Hold'em Manager. I don't get a chance to make lots of takes of these videos. I just do them once, and it's just warts and all. Sometimes things go fucking wrong, and technology lets me down. It's let me down a little bit in this video. Hope it hasn't enjoyed hope it hasn't spoiled your enjoyment of the video too much, and I hope I got the message across that although I am a significant winning player in speed poker, I've decided to move away from it again for the time being. Will I go back to it and play at some point? Probably. I think it gives you a good workout from time to time. I think if you think your game's going to be too sloppy, it's nice to put a few thousand hands in, maybe a week's worth of playing, just to like kind of get yourself back in like full fighting shape. But for now, even though, as I say, we've demonstrated that my win rate is significant. It's 6 blinds 100 over what 180,000 hands, was it? Something like that. What was it? Yeah, 6.6 blinds 100 over 188,000 hands. So we're not walking away from them games because I think they're too hard and I'm not beating them. I think they are too hard. They're too hard to have the kind of win rate I want. I think there's going to be too much variance in there long term for me. And I don't think I beat the higher stakes ones. I mean, if I had to put my hand on my heart and say, would I beat 50-0 Zoom right now? I'd say no. I don't think I'd be good enough to beat 50-0 Zoom. I think at 25-0 Zoom, I'd be just above break even. I think my win rate will be anywhere between maybe 2 and 3 blinds 100. If I played 2 tables, if I played 4 tables, I might be break even, slight loser. I'm not sure. I think they're that tough. If I played 4 tables or 16 and L, I expect I'd probably win at maybe between 3.5 to 5 blinds 100. And the problem is when you win at between 3 and 5 blinds 100, that we talked about earlier, the variance is fucking huge. And I just can't be bothered with it. I just don't want to be like constantly just battling regs. That isn't why I came to poker. I came to poker because I enjoyed the gamble of it, enjoyed the fun of it. And then I continue playing because I enjoyed making money from it. And I like making my money easy. Poker seems to be the only game where, the only like thing in life where people do it to make money, but then seem determined to make it as hard as possible for themselves. I mean, you wouldn't open a flower shop next to like the biggest flower shop in town. You wouldn't open a startup business flower shop in the there. You wouldn't just try and like. There's lots of other ways in business where if you were to be a car dealer, you wouldn't open up right next to the biggest Ford dealership or the biggest BMW dealership. You wouldn't do it. You want to try and pitch your tent in places, or pitch your business in places where there's like plenty of money readily available to you and not that much competition for it. But that's at least how I approach poker. I want to be playing games where the competition isn't that strong, and I'm willing to move down stakes to do that. If I decided that I couldn't beat 59 on Sky anymore, I would try my best to beat it. I would try and figure out why I wasn't beating it. But if over like a decent sample size, I thought I'm not winning it very much, the swings are too much for me for the emotion and the stress it causes, isn't worth like the money I'm making. It's got to be the balance of enjoying the game, no anxiety, making money. And at the moment, I think that's, for me, probably 20 and 30 in the land sky. With 30, that's good. But if it's not, I'm just going to play 20 and 10. It's get 6 tails on my screen, hopefully mostly 20, and then just put 30 or 10 in, depending on where the fish are. And I'm just going to follow the fish around. I'm going to try and get in some good swims, and I'm going to try and make some money, and as easily as possible. Let's just make a few easy bucks and see where it takes us in the new year. So this has gone a bit longer than expected. I hope you guys have got plenty from it. I hope it's given you some food for thought. Please leave your comments below, and we'll be back next week with another one. Bye for now.